This video is going to go through some of the more difficult notation questions and some of the more difficult composite functions questions. So question 1 here for notation says the function f is defined as f dot dot x goes towards 2 minus 3x. Find the value of the number k if k f of 3 is equal to 7 f of 2. The first thing I'm going to do with this one is rewrite it. So we have f dot dot x goes towards 2 minus 3x. I'm going to rewrite this as f bracket x bracket is equal to 2 minus 3x. Now, in this question, it talks about k f of 3 is equal to 7 f of 2. Firstly, I'm going to figure out what k f of 3 is. So this is going to be k, and then f of 3. Well, we know f of x is equal to 2 minus 3x, so then f of 3 is 2 minus 3 times 3. So that's 2 minus 9, which is going to be minus 7. So then k f of 3 is k times minus 7, which is going to give us minus 7k. I'm going to highlight that so we can come back to that in a minute. On the right hand side we have 7 f of 2. Again, we know f of x is equal to 2 minus 3x, so f of 2 is equal to 2 minus 3 times 2, which is 2 minus 6, which is equal to minus 4. So then 7f of 2 is 7 times minus 4, which is going to give us an answer of minus 28. Again, I'm just going to highlight this. So what we had back at the start is we wanted to figure out what k of f of 3 is equal to 7f of 2. We figured out that k f of 3 is minus 7k, so I'm going to write that here. And that's equal to k f of 2, which we figured out to be minus 28. So if we want to figure out what k is, we're going to divide both sides by minus 7. So k then is going to equal to 4. And that's question 1 done. Question 2 says the function f is defined by f dot dot or goes to or. So what this means is that we can put in real numbers and we can get out real numbers. So the domain is real numbers and the range is also real numbers. In this question here, we know that x goes to 3x minus 4, so I'm going to rewrite that as f of x is equal to 3x minus 4. And we're asked to find where f of k plus f of 2k is equal to 0. So first of all, f of k, we know that f of x is equal to 3x minus 4. So f of k, we replace the x with k, with that. F of 2k, well, we know that f of x is equal to 3x minus 4. So f of 2k, replace x with 2k. Then we get this is 6k minus 4. Now going back to what we were asked to figure out, we're asked to figure out where is f of k plus f of 2k equal to 0. So I'm going to write out, so f of k we know is 3k minus 4, and f of 2k is plus 6k minus 4 is equal to 0. So then we can add the like terms, so we have 3k, 6k, minus 4, minus 4. So here, 3k plus 6k is 9k, minus 8 is equal to 0. Can plus 8 to both sides. So then we'll end up that we have 9k is equal to 8. Divide both sides by 9. So we'll get that k is equal to 8 over 9. Then we've answered the question. It wanted the value of k for which f of k plus f of 2k is equal to 0, and the answer is 8 over 9. Question 3 says f dot x goes towards 4x and g dot x goes towards x plus 1, and they define two functions. They've told us that g of 3 plus k times f of 3 is equal to 8. Find the value of k. So I'm going to write that out. And also I'm going to rewrite f dot x goes towards 4 as f of x is equal to 4x and g of x is equal to x plus 1. So the first thing we need to figure out is g of 3. And we know that g of x is equal to x plus 1. So then g of 3 is going to be 3 plus 1, which is going to be 4. Next, we need to figure out what f of 3 is. We know that f of x is equal to 4x. So f of 3 is 4 times 3, which is 12. So then we can go back to what they were asking us. So they wanted what g of 3 plus k times f of 3 is equal to 8. First of all, g of 3 is 4 plus k times 12 is equal to 8. So then we get 4 plus 12k is equal to 8. Take 4 from both sides. We get 12k is equal to 4. We can divide both sides by 12. So k will be equal to 4 over 12. So then you know that that breaks down to 1 over 3. And that is the value of k for which g of 3 plus k times f of 3 is equal to 8. Question 4 then, it says f of x is equal to 2x squared minus 1 and g of x is equal to x plus 2, and they define two functions, and asked us first of all to solve f of x is equal to 0. So that's part I. So we know that f of x is equal to 2x squared minus 1. So if those guys are equal, we get 2x squared minus 1 is equal to 3. I'm going to plus 1 to both sides. We'll get 2x squared is equal to 4. Divide both sides by 2, we'll get x squared is equal to 4. So then we can get the square root of 4. So x is going to be plus or minus 2. And the reason why here we have the plus or minus is because plus 2 squared is going to give us 4. But also minus 2 squared will also give us 4. So those are the values that you have for that one there. Now the second one we have is g of x equal to f of 3. Well, we know g of x is equal to x plus 2. We know f of x is equal to 2x squared minus 1. So f of 3 then is going to be 2 times 3 squared minus 2, which gives us 17. So then what we have is g of x equal to f of 3. So g of x is x plus 2 is equal to 17. So minus 2 from both sides, we'll get that x is equal to 15. So that's part I and I done. Part I wants us to figure out where f of x is equal to g of x. We know f of x is 2x squared minus 1 and g of x is equal to x plus 2. So then f of x, where it's equal to g of x, we put the two of them side by side. We're going to get 2x squared minus 1 is equal to x plus 2. Bring that all to one side, so we'll minus x and minus 2. And we'll get 2x squared minus x minus 3 is equal to 0. So this is where our box method comes in, or our minus b formula. So it's always going to be in the form ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0. we have a equal to 2, b equal to minus 1, and c equal to minus 3. The next thing we need to do is multiply a by c, which is 2 by minus 3, which is going to give us minus 6. And then we need to list the factors of minus 6. They would be minus 6 by 1, 1 by minus 6, 2 times minus 3, 3 by minus 2. And that's them all, so I'm going to highlight this here. Then we need to pick the one that's going to equal to minus 1. And if you choose 2 minus 3, that will give us minus 1. So that's the one we're going to choose. We then draw our box, so we're moving up here. So we have our box. The x squared goes in the top left, so it's 2x squared. The number goes in the bottom right, which is minus 3. We've then picked 2 and minus 3. They can go in any of the remaining boxes, it doesn't matter which way, and an x goes after both. The next thing you say to yourself is, what can I divide out of both 2x squared and 2x? Well, I can divide 2x. And when I divide 2x squared by 2x, I'm left with x, that goes there. Then you say to yourself, what can I divide out of minus 3x and minus 3? I can divide minus 3. So when I divide minus 3 by minus 3, I'm left with 1. We can then check to make sure we're correct. So x by 2x gives us 2x squared, that's perfect. X by minus 3 gives us minus 3x, that's perfect. Minus 3 by 1 gives us minus 3. And 2x by 1 gives us 2x. Then we have our two factors, so we have 2x minus 3 and x plus 1. That's all equal to 0. So we're going to get 2x minus 3 is equal to 0, x plus 1 is equal to 0. We'll get 2x is equal to 3, so x is equal to 3 over 2, and x is equal to minus 1. So the answers for this question is x is equal to 3 over 2, and x is equal to minus 1. Question 5, it says a function f of x is defined by f of x is equal to 1 plus 2 over x. Evaluate first of all f of minus 4 and f of 1 over 5. We know f of x is 1 plus 2 over x, so then f of minus 4 is going to be 1 plus 2 over minus 4. You just pop that into your calculator and you're going to get an answer of a half. And then we also need f of a fifth, which is going to be 1 plus 2 over 1 over 5. Pop that into your calculator, you're going to get an answer of 11. The second part then wants us to figure out where f of x is equal to 2. Well, we know that f of x is equal to 1 plus 2 over x. So then the sum we're going to get is 1 plus 2 over x is equal to 2. The first thing we don't like here is the fraction. So to get rid of that fraction, we're going to multiply both sides by x. So this becomes 1 times x, which is x, plus 2 over x by x is just going to give us 2, is equal to 2x. So I'm going to minus 2x on both sides. So we have x take 2x, that gives us minus x plus 2 is equal to 0. I'm going to minus 2 from both sides. So I'll get minus x is equal to minus 2. You can change the signs then, so x is equal to 2. The final thing we have to do then is part 3. And in part 3, it says, find the value of k if we have k of f of 2 is equal to f of a half. Firstly, we need to get then f of 2. We know f of x is equal to 1 plus 2 over x. So f of 2 is 1 plus 2 over 2, which when you put into your calculator is going to give you an answer of 2. We also need the f of a half. So we'll get 1 plus 2 over 1 over 2, And when you type that into your calculator, you're going to get an answer of 5. So bringing this back up, what we wanted at the start, we wanted k of f of 2 is equal to k of a half. So here we have k of f of 2, which is 2, is equal to f of a half, which is 5. So 2k is equal to 5. So then divide both sides by 2, and we'll get k is equal to 5 over 2. That's the answer for that question. Next, we're going to do a few composite functions questions. For example, the function f and g are defined as follows. So we have f of x is equal to 1 minus 3x, and g of x is equal to x squared minus 1. Part I asks us to find f g of 3. So here, this means g before f. So we do g first, so we have g of 3. We know that g of x is equal to x squared minus 1. G of 3 is going to be 3 squared minus 1, which is going to give us 8. Then we need to get f of x, and that's equal to 1 minus 3x. We need to find what f of 8 is, because that's what the answer from g of x was, which is 1 minus 3 times 8. When you pop that into your calculator, you're going to get an answer of minus 23. So then the answer for the first part of the question is minus 23. The second part of the question here asks us to, if f of g of x is equal to minus 8, find the values of x. So f g of x is equal to minus 8. So first of all, we have to do g before f. So we know we want g of x, and g of x is equal to x squared minus 1. So then we have to get f of x, and we know that f of x is equal to 1 minus 3x. However, we know that we got x squared minus 1 in the first part, so it's 1 minus 3x squared minus 1. So this becomes 1 minus 3x squared plus 3. So this will turn into minus 3x squared plus 4. So we need to then figure out where f of g of x is equal to minus 8. So we have, I'm going to continue this over here. So we have f of g of x is equal to minus 8. So we have minus 3x squared plus 4 is equal to minus 8. I'm going to minus 4 from both sides. We'll get minus 3x squared is equal to minus 12. Divide both sides by minus 3. We're going to get x squared is equal to 4. X then is going to be the square root of 4, so we'll get x is equal to plus or minus 2. That brings this question to a close then. It's completely finished. Question 2 says, given that f of x is equal to x squared plus 8, evaluate f of 2 and f of 8. Now, that's the first part. I'm not going to even read the second part yet. I'm just going to focus on the first part. So we want f of 2, and we know that f of x is equal to the square root of x squared plus 8. So then to get the f of 2, we get the square root of 2 squared plus 8, which is, when you type that into your calculator, you're going to get 2 root 3. Then we need to get f of 8. We know that f of x is equal to the square root of x squared plus 8. So then the f of 8 is equal to the square root of 8 squared plus 8. When we pop that into our calculator, we're going to get the answer of 6 root 2. And then the second part says, given that f of 2 multiplied by f of 8 is equal to k root 6, find k, where k is an element of n. So we have f of 2 by f of 8 is equal to k root 6, and they want us to find an answer. Now we know, or we can see, that f of 2 we got here, and we got the answer of 2 root 3, and f of 8 is here, and we got the answer of 6 root 2. So writing that down, what we're going to get is 2 root 3 times 6 root 2 is equal to k root 6. So I'm going to pop this into my calculator. When I put that into my calculator, I get the answer of 12 root 6. So we'll get k root 6. We can divide both sides by root 6 then, because both sides have a root 6. And we get 12 is equal to k, or you can write k is equal to 12. And that's that question finished. Question 3 then. So given that f of x is equal to k over x squared plus 1, where x is not 0, and f of 3 is equal to 5, find the value of k. So here we have f of 3 is equal to 5. We know that f of x is equal to k over x squared plus 1. So we should be able to find f of 3, no problem. So we're going to get here that we have k over 9 plus 1 is equal to f of 3. Now we know that f of 3 is equal to 5. Because f of 3 is equal to two things, we can let those two things equal each other. So we get k over 9 plus 1 is equal to 5. And take 1 from both sides. We'll get k over 9 is equal to 4. We can then multiply both sides by 9. That will leave us with the fact that k is equal to 36. And that's our question done. Question 4 then says, given that f of x is equal to 3x plus 2, show that f of x plus f of y is equal to f of x plus y plus 2. So for the first part, we want f of x plus f of y is equal to f of x plus y plus 2. So we need to figure out what f of x is, what f of y is, and what f of x plus y is. So they've given us f of x in the question. F of x is just 3x plus 2. F of y though, well, we know that f of x is 3x plus 2. So then f of y, we just replace the x with y, so we get 3y plus 2. Then we have to get f of x plus y. We know that f of x is equal to 3x plus 2. So then f of x plus y would be 3 times x plus y plus 2. This would give us 3x plus 3y plus 2. Now, then what we do is we go back and we sub in the answers we got. So first of all, we need f of x plus f of y is equal to f of x plus y plus 2. So f of x is 3x plus 2, f of y is 3y plus 2, and that's equal to f of x plus y, which is 3x plus 3y plus 2, and then at the very end we have a plus 2 as well. So we can see then here we have 3x plus 3y plus 4 is equal to 3x plus 3y plus 4. And we can see that these guys are equal, and we've shown that they are equal. The second part here says f of x is equal to 2x squared and g of x is equal to 3x minus 1, and they're two functions. Find f g of x and g f of x. So to start with this one, so this means g before f. So we know that g of x is equal to 3x minus 1. So then that just gives us an answer of 3x minus 1. And then f of x is equal to 2x squared. So we need to figure out what f of 3x minus 1 is. So that's 2 times 3x minus 1 squared, which is 2 times 3x minus 1 times 3x minus 1, which gives us an answer of 2 times 3x minus 1 times 3 by 3, which gives us 9x squared minus 3x plus 1. Moving this up a little bit for a second, we get that 18x squared minus 6x plus 2. So then the answer for this is 18x squared minus 12x plus 2. So that's A part 1, and then we need to find g f of x, which means f before g. So we know that f of x is 2x squared. So the answer for that one is just going to be 2x squared. And then we know that g of x is equal to 3x minus 1. But we have g of 2x squared. So that's going to be 3 times 2x squared minus 1, which will be 6x squared minus 1. Then for part B, we need to figure out where f of g of x is equal to g f of x. Again, just to highlight where we're going here. So we have here f g of x, and that was up here, which gave us an answer of 18x squared minus 12x plus 2. And then we have g f of x, which we got up here, and that gave us an answer of 6x squared minus 1. Then, figuring out the answer for this, we get 18x squared minus 12x plus 2 is equal to 6x squared minus 1. I'm going to bring everything to the one side, so I'm going to minus 6x squared, and I'm going to plus 1. So we'll get 12x squared minus 12x plus 3 is equal to 0. I'm going to divide everything by 3, so we'll get 4x squared minus 4x plus 1 is equal to 0. We solve this then using our box method, so we have ax squared plus bx plus c. A is equal to 4, b is equal to minus 4, and c is equal to 1. Next we get a times c, which gives us 4 times 1, which is just 4. To list the factors of 4 then, so we get 4 and 1, we get 2 and 2. Of course we also can get minus 4, and minus 2 by minus 2. So I'm going to box these in. So we need to pick the one that when you add it together, it's going to give us minus 4. So minus 2 plus minus 2 will definitely give us minus 4. Then what we need to do is write out our box. Remembering that in the top left hand corner goes the x squared, which in this case is 4x squared. The bottom right goes the number, which is plus 1, and then you write the two numbers that you have. In this case it doesn't matter, with an x after them. Then you ask yourself the question, what can I divide out of both 4x squared and 2x? Well, I can divide 2x. When I divide 4x squared by 2x, I'm left with 2x. So then minus 2x and 1, what can I divide out of both of them? I could divide minus 1. So when I divide 1 by minus 1, I'm left with minus 1. We can then check to make sure we're right. So 2x by 2x gives us 4x squared. 2x by minus 1 gives us minus 2x, which is perfect. 2x by minus 1 gives us minus 2x, which is correct. And then minus 1 by minus 1 gives us plus 1. So then we're left with 2x minus 1 and 2x minus 1, 0. So they're both the same thing. So we get 2x minus 1 is equal to 0. 2x is equal to 1. Divide both sides by 2. We get x is equal to a half. So if we go right there back up to the question, it says for what value or values of x is f g of x equal to g f of x, and if we go back down to what we found, the answer is when x is a half. So that's the answer to this question.